The cold bit harder that evening than it had all week, slicing through worn fabric and settling deep into the bones of anyone unlucky enough to be outside. Daniel pulled his thin coat tighter around himself, his breath forming small clouds in the fading light. Beside him, his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, clutched his hand with tiny, frozen fingers. They had been walking for hours, not because they had somewhere to go, but because stopping meant feeling the hunger more sharply. In his other hand, Daniel held a small paper bag. Inside it was the last thing he could afford that day, a single sandwich. It wasn't much, but it was all they had. And in his mind, he had already decided, it was for Lily. "Daddy." "I'm hungry," Lily whispered, her voice so soft it almost got lost in the wind. Daniel's heart clenched. He forced a smile, crouching down to her level. "I know, sweetheart. I got you something special." He gently opened the paper bag, revealing the sandwich. Lily's eyes lit up, but just as quickly, she looked back at him. "What about you?" she asked. "I already ate," he lied, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Lily hesitated, her small hands not reaching for the food just yet. "Promise." "Promise," Daniel said, even though his stomach twisted painfully at the lie. They found a small bench under a flickering streetlight. Daniel sat down, pulling Lily close to keep her warm. She held the sandwich carefully, like it was something precious. Just as she was about to take a bite, a quiet voice interrupted them. "Excuse me." Daniel looked up. Standing a few feet away was a young boy, no older than 10. His clothes were even thinner than Lily's, his cheeks red from the cold, his eyes tired and desperate. Behind him, 2 smaller children huddled together, clearly his siblings. "Please, we haven't eaten since yesterday," the boy said, his voice trembling. "Can you help us?" Daniel froze. His mind raced. He looked at Lily, then at the sandwich in her hands, then back at the children. Every instinct screamed at him to protect his daughter, to make sure she had something, anything, to eat. But another voice, quieter yet stronger, reminded him of something he had once believed deeply: kindness doesn't wait for abundance. Lily noticed his hesitation. She slowly looked at the boy, then down at her sandwich. Without saying a word, she held it out. "Here, you can have it," she said softly. Daniel's eyes widened. "Lily, you don't have to." "It's okay, Daddy," she interrupted, her voice calm in a way no child should have to be. "They're hungrier." The boy stared at her, disbelief written across his face. "Are you sure?" She nodded with a small smile. With shaking hands, the boy took the sandwich. Thank you so much." He quickly broke it into pieces, sharing it with his siblings. The 3 of them ate like they hadn't seen food in days, which, judging by their condition, was probably true. Daniel felt something inside him shift. Pride, pain, love, all tangled together. He wrapped his arm around Lily, pulling her closer. "You have the kindest heart," he whispered. She leaned into him. "You taught me." They sat there in silence as the children finished the last crumbs and disappeared into the night. The cold seemed harsher now, the hunger sharper. Daniel had nothing left to give. Not even for his own daughter. But then, something unexpected happened. A sleek black car slowly pulled up across the street. At first, Daniel paid no attention. Cars came and went all the time. But this one stopped. And stayed. A moment later, the door opened, and a well-dressed man stepped out. He looked out of place in the quiet, struggling neighborhood, his polished shoes crunching softly against the snow. The man approached them, his expression unreadable. "Excuse me," he said politely. "I couldn't help but notice what just happened." Daniel tensed slightly. "We were just..." "You gave away your last meal," the man continued, glancing at Lily with a hint of admiration. "Most people wouldn't do that." Daniel sighed. "It wasn't mine to give. It was hers." The man smiled faintly. "That makes it even more remarkable." He paused for a moment, as if choosing his words carefully. Then he reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a card. "My name is Mr. Carter," he said, handing it to Daniel. "I run a small foundation that helps families get back on their feet. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in moments like this." Daniel looked at the card, unsure what to say. Come see me tomorrow, Mr. Carter added. Bring your daughter. Before Daniel could respond, the man nodded once and walked back to his car, disappearing as quietly as he had arrived. For a long moment, Daniel just stared at the card. Lily tugged on his sleeve. Daddy, is that good? He looked down at her, his eyes softening. I don't know yet, he admitted. But maybe, just maybe, things are about to change. That night, they slept a little warmer, not because the cold had faded, but because hope had taken its place. And sometimes, hope is all it takes to start a miracle.